All right, let's talk about something absolutely critical in the world of heavy fabrication, post weld heat treatment. We're going to get into the science of why this is so important for making sure those massive steel vessels you see in plants and refineries are safe to operate for years and years to come. So, you might be wondering, why on earth would you do this? I mean, think about it. You've just spent a ton of time and effort welding these huge steel plates together perfectly, the welding's done, so why would you then turn around and stick the whole thing in a giant oven and bake it? It seems, well, a little backward, right? Well, here's the answer, and it's the absolute core of everything we're about to discuss. Welding isn't just gluing metal together. On a microscopic level, you are inflicting a serious, controlled trauma on that steel. You're melting it, you're forcing it together, and then it cools down, fast. And that violence leaves behind a really dangerous and totally invisible scar. And that invisible scar, it has a name: residual stress. Just picture this in your head. You've got this molten weld pool, and as it cools, it desperately wants to shrink. But it can't. It's being held in place by all the cold, rigid steel all around it. What you get is this incredible internal tug of war, a massive amount of tension locked right into this steel itself. This is the perfect way to think about it. We're not talking about a minor little issue here. We're talking about a huge amount of stored energy just trapped inside the material. And, just like any coiled spring, all that energy wants to do is release. And when that energy releases, it can be absolutely catastrophic. If those residual stresses are high enough, they can cause the steel to literally crack and fail suddenly with no warning at all. We call that brittle fracture. And this isn't just about losing an expensive piece of equipment. It's a massive safety hazard. It can happen before the vessel even goes into service. This is the nightmare scenario we have to prevent at all cost. So, how do we fix this? How do we get that powerful spring to uncoil safely? How do we heal the steel from the trauma of welding? The answer is a very carefully engineered process, and it's called Post Weld Heat Treatment, or PWHT for short. You can think of PWHT as basically a stress-relieving soak for the steel. We take the whole vessel and we carefully, slowly heat it up in a huge furnace. We get it hot, but not hot enough to melt, of course. At this high temperature, the atoms in the steel's crystal structure get enough energy to move around a little bit, to rearrange themselves. And this allows all those locked-in stresses to finally relax and dissipate. The steel basically gets to take a deep breath and exhale. Now, this isn't some kind of guesswork. The entire process, when to do it, how hot to get it, how long to hold it there, it's all strictly controlled by engineering codes. For the kind of vessels we're talking about, the rulebook is the ASME Boiler and Pressure Vessel Code. And specifically, we look to a table called UCS-56. In our world, this is the law. So the code really boils it down to two main reasons, two triggers that tell you PWHT isn't optional, it's mandatory. The first one is all about the physical size, the thickness of the metal. But the second one is based on something much more serious. What's going to be inside that vessel? Okay, let's start with the trigger we run into most often, and that's material thickness. The logic here is pretty simple, right? The thicker the steel, the more it's going to restrain that cooling weld, which means the higher those residual stresses are going to be. So the code draws a line in the sand and says, at this point, the stress is just too high to ignore. For your everyday carbon steel, that magic number is 1¼ inches, 32 millimeters. As soon as the material you're welding is thicker than that, PWHT is no longer a nice to have. It becomes a mandatory step in the fabrication process. It has to be done. All right, so now we know when we have to heat treat. The next obvious question is, for how long? And that brings us to probably the most well-known rule of thumb in the entire industry. I mean, every welding engineer, every fabricator, they know this one by heart. So here's the basic recipe. We bring the vessel up to at least 1100 degrees Fahrenheit. Then we hold it at that temperature. We call that soaking for 1 hour for every single inch of material thickness. It's that simple. Got a 2-inch thick vessel? That's a 2-hour soak. 4-inch thick? 4-hour soak. It's a really straightforward relationship. So the thickness rule seems pretty simple. You measure the steel, you do the math, you follow the recipe. But there is one factor, one condition that comes along and throws that whole thickness calculation right out the window. And it has nothing to do with what the vessel's made of and everything to do with what it's made to hold. And this, right here, is where the safety aspect becomes absolutely paramount. We're talking about vessels that are designed for what the code calls lethal service. This is the most serious classification there is, and when it comes into play, believe me, the rules become absolute. So what exactly is lethal service? Well, it's for vessels holding stuff that is so incredibly toxic. We're talking things like hydrogen cyanide or phosgene gas, that even a tiny pinhole leak could be instantly fatal to anyone in the area. The margin for error here isn't small, it's zero. So when a vessel gets that lethal service stamp, you can forget everything we just said about 1¼ inches. It just doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter if the shell is a ½ inch thick or 5 inches thick. The potential consequence of a failure is so extreme that we have to take the maximum possible precaution every single time. The rule is as simple and as serious as it gets. If the service is lethal, the PWHT is mandatory. Period. There are no exceptions, there are no calculations, there is no way around it. It is the ultimate safety override in the entire code. Okay, so let's just recap the big points here. 1. Welding creates dangerous, locked-in stress. 2. PWHT is the healing process that gets rid of that stress. 3. The rule you'll see most often is 1 hour per inch of thickness. And 4, and this is the most important one, if a vessel is in lethal service, it always gets PWHT, no matter how thin the metal is. It really puts things into perspective, doesn't it? This whole expensive, time-consuming process is all about managing these invisible forces to prevent a disaster. It's a powerful reminder that in this line of work, it's often the steps you can't see that matter the most. And the true cost of skipping one of those steps? It's not something you can measure in money.